This is our 1832 Georgian townhouse that I bought in October of '93 and proceeded to renovate a building that was in total disrepair and had been unoccupied for 50 years. It consists of a row of 13 townhouses. Each is 7,000 square feet. And there are 4 stories in the front and 3 stories in the service wing or slave quarters. And fortunately, I moved in and been single for 30 years, and Mr. Look walked through the front door April 29th of '94.
So I associate this house with meeting Cassandra and the house at the same time, and they're both rather stunningly impressive. Having lived in New York for 30 years, you may know in a big city like New York, no matter how big your apartment is, it's not big enough. Everything's pretty tight for space. These are sort of what you might call enlarged or expanded from the standard northeastern townhouse of the 19th century. I think slightly more generous in their depth and width and everything.
And we have a friend in London that has a townhouse on Trevor Square, and hers is the small miniature version of this.
About
right.
Half the size of this.
Right. But same floors and everything.
So,
So,
what did you have to do to fix this up?
Well, what I had to do, I got an architect, the first architect I fired, because he wanted me to start tearing down the walls. I said I don't want to do that. I hired another architect who helped me get a tax credit, 20% tax credit on the build out. And he said, Cassandra, I'll tell you when you're doing something wrong, but it looks like you're doing everything right. So I did new plumbing, new electrical, took all the 12-inch baseboards away and ran the electrical behind them. When we started doing the walls and the painters started scraping things down, I said, you know, when I tell you to stop, like on the window openings, he started scraping down. Of course, they thought they were going to paint everything high-gloss white paint, and I said no. So to keep it as a ruin, I had them do this scraping. And I told them to stop. I did the walls and then left the window openings kind of in a state of ruin, but not. And redid the floors. I had lots of floors to work with. These are the original floors, so where I needed to repair, that's what we did. And had put central air and heat separate on each floor, so I didn't combine floors. And it took me from October of '93 until April of '94, which I had I got the gallery put together so I'd have some income. And then I lived on the 2nd and 3rd floors. The 4th floor I hadn't touched. You couldn't put your big toe in there because it was a mess. And then the back was still a ruin. And actually my former landlady in the quarter, Andre Moss, said, oh, when you have a cocktail party, you'll look out to the back to the slave quarter. It'll be a ruin. It will be great conversation. So, and then when Rich came along, we did the back, and we did the 4th floor for him, for his studio. But it was quite a journey.